Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the 2018 variation on 2017's most discussed Zenith. This is the Zenith Defy El Primero 21 Blue, 44 millimeters in grade 5 titanium. This watch was unveiled during LVMH's Hublot, Zenith, and TAG Heuer Geneva days, set up on a ship to rival SIHH in the nearby Geneva PAL Expo Center. So this timepiece is the blue variant of 2017's Defy El Primero 21, but it wears the same way. 44 millimeters in grade 5 tie, it's light on the wrist. It's about as thick as a Royal Oak Offshore at 14.7, which is to say, thinner than you would expect for a thing this complicated, and lug to lug, it is quite compact. 50.3 millimeters lug to lug, and that's all she wrote because there is no bracelet on this watch, so 50 millimeters across the wrist. I can endorse this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and it is feather light because of the titanium. You'll also note the strap. Supple and deluxe, a combination of light blue rectangular scale alligator leather inside of a natural vulcanized rubber strap, so it will last a long time provided you don't actually submerge it. Full rubber straps as well as textile and bracelets available from Zenith. The clasp is an upscale piece, polished and satin like the case. It uses a twin trigger release so it can't accidentally pop open. I appreciate that extra measure of security. And then, of course, Zenith Star internal. There is a minderless system, so you can tuck any excess strap length underneath the body of the clasp. So once it's sized, there are no minder loops and no excess strap flapping in the breeze. It's a small refinement, but one that I appreciate, cleaning up the look of the watch. Though many have likened this case design, as well as the open dial, to TAG Heuer and Hublot, stablemates within LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy's watch division, the fact is that this case actually dates to the late 1960s, and if you look up something like a Zenith A386, you'll see exactly where this case came from. 384, 385, look up those watches and you'll immediately recognize this cushion case profile. It is anything but Hublot. It predates Hublot by decades. Now the timepiece does have a handsome combination of satin and polish with sharp facets giving it definition, but almost all of the action is on the dial side and within the dial itself. Let's quickly discuss the geography of this dial because there's a bit going on. There is the conventional El Primero escapement at 36,000 vibrations per hour, so that's 10 beats per second, and then let's up the ante. There is a second balance and a second escapement operating at 360,000 vibrations per hour or 100 beats per second, and that's the hand you see, the foudroyant, the lightning second hand around the dial. There is a 60-second dial at 6 o'clock, and then there's a 30-minute chrono minutes dial at 3. You have no chrono hours. There's a power reserve for the chronograph at 12 o'clock, and the only way to wind it is by manually turning the crown in a clockwise direction. The watch on the El Primero side will run for 50 hours. The chronograph will run for 50 minutes. And this is a funny image to see. This is the first hacking seconds El Primero. You can actually stop the balance of the watch while the chrono continues to operate. So it features an innovation for the El Primero, the first hacking seconds, but only for the time, not for the chronograph. This is a very vocal watch and you will hear it. There's a surprising amount of depth to the dial. As you can see, it slopes down from a dished Rayhaut that serves as the 1/100th of a second scale. Applique and loomed hour indices that cantilever out over the center dial, and then you can see there are some displays, the 60-second, the 30-minute, the power reserve, and a tri-spoke constant second that acts as the seconds display for the watch, and I believe is running off the fourth wheel of the going train. That's your constant second subdial right there. Now the base plate of the caliber 9004 is metallic blue anodized for a shock of color. Turn it over and there's more still. Automatic winding, this one an efficient unidirectional winder rather than the traditional El Primero bidirectional. Power reserve is the same, but again, only for the time-telling part of the watch, not for the chronograph. So automatic winding, unidirectional with hacking seconds, it's a brave new world for El Primeros. And, although not a new feature, an uncommon one, this is a COSC certified El Primero. We rarely see chronometer certified LPs outside of the old Rolex Daytona family. You can see that second escapement working away. The watch has two of them. The one that tells the time, the hours, minutes, and seconds of the day, is an unlubricated silicone escapement that might go as long as 6 years between services. But you can see that the high-speed escapement is actually a conventional Swiss lever with pallet stones. So it actually uses a conventional metallic Swiss lever with synthetic rubies, whereas the time of day has an unlubricated silicon escapement. 53 joules, robustly complex with great depth. It's a big, thick movement with plenty open to the eye. The bridges as well as the rotor are skeletonized to give you superb depth of field. You can look down and through. You can even look at this movement from angles, and it truly pays dividends for those who own high-powered loops. It's both a complicated movement and a good-looking movement. Innovation and pulchritude hand in hand with this watch. 100 meters water resistant. It is an all-around sportster. You're going to want to put it on a water-resistant band, not this leather, before taking the plunge. Fortunately, the like is available from Zenith. This is the new face of the Zenith manufacturer, and if you could hear it, the new sound. 10 beats per second and 100 beats per second. 2 heartbeats, 1 watch, 2 eras of Zenith. The past of the El Primero, 50 years young in 2019, and the new high-beat system derived from the TAG Heuer Carrera 360. You can see and you can own this El Primero 21 Blue on the watch box. Zenith Defy El Primero 21 Blue. Blue by day, green by night. See it on the watch box.